Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Jason Show, Home Edition. I'm Jace. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful morning. Grab a cup of coffee. Join me, won't you? Get a cup of coffee. Get a little muffin or something. Gonna take a little drink there. Thanks for being here. This is one of those days where I couldn't wait to get on the air because there are so many fun things to tell you about. The first is I got a really, really fun and great tour of a Minnesota landmark. And I think we really just need some good news, a little sunshine. And I'm here to deliver some sunshine. I got a tour of the Daytons Project. As most of you know, this is right on Nicollet Mall, the former Daytons location, department store, then turned into Marshall Field's and then turned into Macy's. It is being revitalized as a multi-use facility with offices, retail, a food hall. I got a tour last week. I can't say everything, some things are secret, but I will tell you this. It is sensational. And it, in my prediction, my humble prediction, is going to be a crown jewel in the downtown Minneapolis sector. What they are doing with this property is this incredible balancing act. They're paying respect to Dayton's and the legacy while bringing it into the 21st century and making it a destination for downtown. I wanted to show you something. These photographs, by the way, are from the Daytons Project Instagram account. You can follow them and see this. Take a good look at this lighting fixture. This is a lighting fixture looking up from the ground level up. It was commissioned to, when formed, when you're looking at it through straight up, it forms the D, the classic D from the classic Dayton's logo. But as you move up the floors, it looks like just separate pieces of a lighting fixture. It is stunning. This is one of the grand hallways. Now, I saw it a little more completed than this. The views, the openness of the windows, it's spectacular. This is a look at the gym that they're going to offer to tenants there. I'm telling you, between the food hall that's coming and the retail, I think it is going to bring people back to downtown. It is going to be a destination the way the Dayton's department store was a destination for so many of you with your family. They have so many great plans. I believe in these people that are behind this, and I think you're gonna feel very proud. You're gonna feel very proud. So the Daytons Project on Instagram. I'm so excited. Y'all are gonna come back downtown. I'm telling you. Let's get started, everybody. It is time for the hot dish. Here we go. Bloop, 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 bloop. Enough of that, Jason. The current season of The Masked Singer on Fox wrapped up last week. I liked this season. I was in and out, but hello, the pandemic and all. But it wrapped up last week, and here is, well, I will just tell you, the Night Angel. Spoiler alert, the winner. It came down to the angel, the Night Angel, the turtle, and the frog. The Night Angel won the season. Look at her. And I really had no idea who it was. I really didn't. And then the big reveal happened, and I was like, now it makes sense. Here's the big reveal. Take it off. Kandi Burruss. That's right. Kandi Burruss from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was also on Celebrity Big Brother last year. She beat out the frog, who was rapper and actor Bow Wow, and the turtle, who was singer Jesse McCartney. And once again, it was the most watched primetime program on broadcast TV. And there's another season slated for season 4 in the fall. It's going to come back. Like I said, I was in and out of the season, but it was still really good. And I love Kandi because Kandi is one of those. She's like a Lisa Rinna. The hustle is real. She took Bravo. She took her success from The Real Housewives of Atlanta and turned it into a restaurant business. Turned it into an adult business. Just Google, you see what it is. And then her singing, because even before, for the youngins out there, if you didn't know, she is a hugely successful singer and songwriter. She wrote No Scrub. So Kandi, the winner of The Masked Singer. There we go. Next, speaking of TV, let's stay with TV for a second. Award shows come and go. One recently left TV for a while, and I'm talking about the Daytime Emmys. But look at this headline from the Hollywood Reporter: the Daytime Emmys returning to TV on CBS. That's right. And this is the first time in 5 years that the Daytime Emmys is coming back to TV, back to broadcast TV. CBS announced, this is the announcement you're watching on CBS's The Talk. It's going to be on June 22nd. The award show had been pushed to streaming in recent years because the ratings kept going down. But CBS says they're skipping a theater ceremony, and instead, winners and other special guests will appear from home. And again, the ladies of The Talk announces, can we just acknowledge Marie Osmond's lighting right there? Look at how good. So there's Marie's lighting, and here's my lighting. It's pretty good, though. You know, I'm doing this myself. The lighting, it's pretty good, but Marie Osmond has some good lighting there. I used to watch the Daytime Emmys all the time because, you know, I was a big daytime TV watcher. You guys know that. The best memory, two of them I have, Susan Lucci finally winning, and then Oprah Winfrey getting the Lifetime Achievement Award from Barbara Walters. Those are the two Daytime Emmy. That was back when soaps were still relatively big, in the mid-90s. The zenith of soaps were really the late 70s and early 80s, but soaps were still getting it done in the 90s. And I remember those two, and the ratings just kind of just kept going down and down and down and down and down. But oh well. Next, it was one of the most talked about music festivals in recent history. Yes, it was, and I'm talking about the Fyre Festival. Well, Kendall Jenner has to fork over. Listen to this: a celebrity is being forced to pay up for her role in promoting the Fyre Festival. Kendall Jenner is going to have to fork over $90,000. $90,000 because she promoted the festival on her Instagram account. In her now deleted post, she made it seem like the festival would be filled with famous models and and going to be on an exotic private island. Well, yeah, girl, some of that didn't happen. She also hinted that Kanye West would perform. Well, neither of those were true. The Fyre Festival turned out to be a disaster. Hundreds of people were stranded in the Bahamas, and the promoter is serving 6 years in prison. By the way, you can see the documentary about that on the Hulu. But Kendall, look, but $90,000, that's like me buying this Starbucks here. Kendall has that in her purse, or her purse. It's a purse if I'm wearing it, but it's a purse. Yeah. Anyway, she'll be fine. Let's not feel sorry for Kendall Jenner on this one. That's the hot dish for right now, but we actually have more hot dish coming up, plus some great special guests. So grab that cup of coffee and meet me back here in just a few minutes. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the Jason Show Home Edition. More hot dish for you, and I need help carrying this plate of hot dish, so she's helping me. Look, it's Kendall. Good morning, Kendall.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. Good. I just had a great visual of Adam Turman. You remember his hot dish lady at the state fair?
Yeah.
That's how I just felt when you said that.
I'm enjoying the new flowers behind you. And is that a beautiful antique lamp I see?
It is. Thank you, Jason. Yes. People have been very concerned about my love fern. She's actually out on the porch now for the season. She's very happy. She's fine, everyone. So faux flowers and grandma's lamp.
Why is it called the love fern again? I don't remember that.
Have you seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? 10 Days.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Oh, got it. Okay, that's okay.
That's the love fern, so it's
that's right. Okay, so before we get into, I know that you watched a Netflix movie, but I want to ask you, because you're Sporty Spice, you're a sporty girl. Coming up a little bit, I'm going to be talking about The Last Dance on ESPN. Have you been watching this?
Yes, I watched all 10 episodes.
Okay, now I'm talking about it later, but I want to hear from you because, again, you're Sporty Spice. What did you think of it?
We loved it. So Jordan's from the Chicago area, as you know. So he watched it with a whole different level of appreciation and love because he watched the team.
Yeah,
I know
too.
You were in the area, so you watched it. Yeah. I, as a just sports fan in general, loved learning more about Phil Jackson, the head coach. And sort of his way that he coached and his personality. I had no idea he was such a hippie. It's hilarious. It was really interesting. And I think it's been really interesting to listen to the people that interview subjects and how they feel they were portrayed.
Yeah.
Entertainment-wise, fantastic. Really, really inspiring to watch the Michael Jordan story, period.
Very. Coming up a little bit later, Dawn Mitchell will be joining me to kind of geek out on it. Because Kendall, you should have seen me watching this. I mean, but again, like your husband, I was lucky enough to grow up in the Chicagoland area during the Michael Jordan era. So anyway, that's a little bit later. Speaking of streaming and stuff to watch on TV, tell everyone that what you watched recently.
So I watched The Wrong Missy on Netflix. I just pulled it up on my phone because I wanted to make sure I got her name right. David Spade is the main character. So number one, you already know it's going to be a funny, good movie. But The Wrong Missy is about this woman he meets. He's recently not divorced. He was engaged, but he is split from this woman, right? And he meets this woman named Melissa. They go on a date, and she's nutter butters, as you would say, cuckoo bananas. He has to escape out the bathroom window. It's this horrid date, right? Fast forward a few months, he meets another woman named Melissa in an airport. She is his dream girl, everything he's ever wanted. He brags to his coworkers about her. And they're like, you should bring her on this retreat to Hawaii they're going on. And he's like, no. And his one buddy's like, no, you should bring her because she's a babe and everyone will be jealous. Well, as you can guess, he starts texting her. She responds. She's happy to come, get on the plane. And which Missy is there? The wrong Missy.
The wrong Missy.
Yeah. So, I mean, super simple plot line and idea, but it's so funny. It's the Adam Sandler people are behind it. They're the producers. I was crying, laughing at several points during this movie.
Really?
I'm not kidding. No, I was like, no. It was so dumb SNL humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because no Judge Judy, because I love Spade and I loved classic Sandler. But some of these Spade Sandler movies are like a little too ridiculous for me. But you're it's ridiculous. So her name is Lauren Lapkus, and I haven't done a lot of research on her. I'm trying to see, but I think she was an SNL staff. I mean, she looked really familiar, and she was so funny. Now, I would not recommend watching it with your kids. I'm guessing it's rated R with the language that they use. But if it's just you and your person, just you, your adult children, it is so funny. They have physical comedy, like she falls off a cliff. They have raunchy humor. They have dumb joke humor. It's just a good like Friday night movie if you're looking for one. Okay. Well, if you're not going to go to a movie next in the dish, maybe you're going to head off to Orlando on, maybe one of the 4 flights available out of MSP right now. But Disney World in Orlando is slowly reopening. The first sign of that just a few days ago, Disney Springs opened. Now, if you guys don't know, Disney Springs is their shopping and entertainment district. You don't need a ticket for it. And they have new safety precautions in mind. This is a picture from their Instagram account. So there are new stickers on the floor kind of showing you where 6 feet from each other is. All employees, cast members have to wear masks, as you see in this picture. And guests have to wear masks. And they're doing temperature checks. They're limiting capacity. So I'll ask you, I framed this a different way with you before, Kendall, about the parks. But with a shopping place like this, with all of these precautions, would you go?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm stir crazy, Jason, and I know it is for the health of the people and but we're all, let's just be honest, we're all getting real stir crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm really interested to see what will happen with the Mall of America and how that's going to look. So I'm thinking I'm curious enough to go to the Mall of America. Why wouldn't I try that out too,
Yeah, and I've been encouraged, and, please, we are not doctors. Kendall is not a doctor. We do not play one on TV. But I was reading last week in USA Today last Thursday that the CDC altered their guidelines a little bit, where they were saying that the passing of the virus on surfaces is a little lower than they expected, that they originally thought, that it's not as easy to get it from touching like a railing than they thought originally. That gave me a little bit of hope, because I got to tell you, person to person, I can wear a mask, they can wear a mask, but I was freaking out thinking that, oh my goodness, if I touch this and I touch that, you know what I mean, Kendall? So I'm still going to wash my hands and bring a sanitizing wipe everywhere I go. But that headline from USA, it made me feel a little bit better about stuff like this.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I was thinking too, was like, things have, we get these new updates. It's a new novel virus. That's what they call it.
Yes.
So to learn that that's not as big as the breathing and being in contact that way, that does also change things for me. Like, oh, I couldn't touch that t-shirt.
But again, to be clear, to be Crystal Carrington clear, they're saying it just decreases it a little bit. It doesn't mean you can't get it from touching things. It just means it's a little less likely than they thought before. I think actually less likely is the term they're using. But yeah, when I go, everyone, I'll let you know. I'll do a little report. Kendall, Kendall, thank you so much. Go water that plant.
Oh, okay. Yes. God bless.
God bless. Bye, sweetheart. Kendall, everybody. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. It's time for our happy news segment, or as we call it, Jason's non-negative news. And today I kind of have a theme with today, other than just being happy news. I want to celebrate someone in our non-negative news segment, and that is my third grade teacher, Mrs. Freeze. Last week was her birthday. I'm just going to say she was 32. But you've heard me reference Mrs. Freeze over the years. She is the teacher that changed the trajectory of my life. No dramatics, no exaggeration. That woman right there changed my life, which I think that's what the best teachers do. She was the one in third grade that recognized that little Jason was a little different than the other boys in my class, and was realizing that I didn't want to play sports, was realizing and noticing that I was getting beaten up on the playground. I really didn't have a creative outlet. So she took the time to get to know me and discovered that I liked theater, that I liked pretending, and I liked TV. So Mrs. Freeze, again, did what good teachers do. And she took the student and figured out how to make it education work for that particular student. And what she did was she let us do a class play. And that play was The Wizard of Oz. And here it is. This is me, and I'll give you $100. Not really, but you can kind of guess where I am. I'm like, ho, 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 green giant. I look like I'm a 32-year-old man, but I'm really in third grade there. But here's performance night. I'm the scarecrow. And moments after this photograph, and I've told you this story before, moments after this photograph, the play went to the crapper, because none of the other deadbeats, I'm sorry, children, none of my classmates learned their lines. So moments after this picture, I grabbed the scripts from all of their hands and did the entire play myself. And well, they kind of deserved it. Mrs. Freeze then also took us to Washington, D.C. 2 years later, because we did a big Washington, D.C. project. That's me, second from the left. So even 2 years later, she was having an impact on my life. I say that she's changed the trajectory of my life because if I didn't have her to kind of spark that creativity way back in 1983, I wouldn't be sitting here now in my home studio. I wouldn't be in front of this microphone, and I wouldn't be in front of you if it wasn't for Mrs. Freeze. My life would look incredibly different without that woman in my life. And today I am celebrating her. And I'm also using it as an opportunity to celebrate all of you good teachers, all of you Mrs. Freezes out there that take the time to really, really get to know these kids. I know you know this, but I'm going to say it again. Y'all have tremendous power and tremendous influence on the children you teach, even if they don't tell you right then because they're kids. Believe me, I'm 45, and every year of my life, I try to thank Mrs. Freeze for changing me, changing my life. She is an angel right here on earth, and I love her very much. So Mrs. Freeze, I love you. happy birthday, and thank you for changing this guy's life. I will never, ever, ever forget you, and you should be celebrated every day of your life. You should be. We're going to take a break, everyone. If you have some good news you want to share with me, who knows, it could end up right here on Jason's Non-Negative News. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for Jason Show TV. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back. It has turned into one of the biggest hits ESPN has ever seen. I'm talking about the 10-part docuseries chronicling Michael Jordan's final season with the Chicago Bulls in 97, 98. And I, shockingly, am obsessed with it. Here to talk, and I needed someone to dish about it with, and I couldn't think of a better person. Please join me in welcoming my good friend, Fox 9 sports anchor, and my buddy, it's Dawn Mitchell, everyone. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Jason. Thanks for having me. This is terrific.
Oh, I was so excited for all of you to know. I texted Dawn. I said, Dawn, you will not believe what I am obsessed with. And I said, I am on my couch. I can't get up. I know I'm like 2 months behind, but I am loving this. I'm loving The Last Dance. So I want to get so many things in. So I want to just ask you a broad question. Mm-hmm. What is it about this story, Dawn? What is it about MJ? What is it about this season that has captivated people on par with like Tiger King?
Mm-hmm. You know, I think it's so many reasons. First of all, it's uncensored, and not to be bad about that, but it's raw emotion. And this is what I see of athletes when they trust me. They tell you the stories that can never be told until they're ready. They don't want backlash. He's given it to you. Now, some people are saying, all right, a lot has been left out, but he's giving you the emotion of what made him tick. And it's awesome. And the reactions of people who worked with them. So I think we're getting like a peek behind the curtain, like the Willy Wonka, right? Like, what's their lives like? And now I think it's only because MJ is really comfortable that he can be this honest. So I just think we're captivated. And once you follow that timeline of the back and forth, which at first can be jarring, I liked it, because it gives you the backstory. Like, all right, here they are now, but the reason why they're acting this way here is, let's take you back. I loved it. I loved it.
Dawn, what is it? And I know this is another broad question, but you've been in sports journalism for years. You said something right there that I wanted to touch on, because I'm not real familiar with your world. What does it take, Dawn, for a journalist to really connect, and then I'll make a Minnesota reference, to a Joe Mauer, to a Kevin Garnett? What is it, for you as a sports journalist, how do you crack that shell to get them to trust you? And I know that's a broad question, but I think you know what I mean.
Well, first of all, they have to see you, right? So you have to be there. They have to respect you so that you're there. You ask the tough questions, as well as knowing what the deal is. You know, there's a lot of silent rules in sports. You know, politicians want to talk to you and they want to get the point across. People want to sell something. Athletes don't need to talk to you, right? So you get the game. You don't speculate. You don't say, I think Michael Jordan was suspended and went and played baseball. You know, you tell the story as the facts tell it. So when you're there every day and they get to know you, when the camera's off and they feel comfortable that they can be themselves, it's harder now with social media and everything. So the athletes get that protective glazed over. So they have to trust you that when that camera is off and it's off the record, it's off the record. So I think that that's key.
Going back to The Last Dance, what was the thing that surprised you the most? Again, you've been in sports journalism for a while. You probably have heard from colleagues that have covered MJ in those years, in the early 90s. What surprised you the most coming out of this that you learned about MJ?
Oh, you know, MJ, I really think that I love the emotion and the drama behind it. You know, you hear bits and pieces about this and that, but we all knew that he was a fierce competitor, right? He always said, I succeeded because I failed, and I love that. But what he had to fail at, you know, it means maybe his teammates didn't like him. Maybe he had to be the one saying, this isn't good enough. I'm bringing you up to this part. And I was also surprised that he let people have that what's the
unflattering.
The unflattering access to him. I learned that about that. I did. I also learned Phil Jackson is more awesome than I ever thought he could be. We all thought he was zen and everyone gets to get along. No, he got in their faces when he needed to. And his reaction when Rodman came back from that craziness, from the WWE wrestling. Oh, you probably haven't even gotten to this part yet. I don't know. The way he handles things, you are shocked. Even I was like, ooh, I didn't think he was going to go about it that way.
I walked away from this really loving Scottie Pippen and with such respect, and I was shocked that he was second to Jordan in almost every criteria. Second in rebounds and second in this, but he was sixth in salary. That shocked me, Dawn.
You know, I was not shocked only because I knew that and I knew the backstory. I was kind of hoping that they would give Scotty his due, and they did at the end because he was a wonderful teammate. But what I love is he's proud and he's emotional, and he didn't shy away from that. He's like, yeah, if I had to do that again, I probably would do the same thing. But he was also open to be talking about his foibles and his failures. I think that's what this whole thing is about. People are like, yeah, that's what I did or what I didn't do. What I also love about Scottie Pippen is at the end, and this is a spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it.
Spoiler.
There is a part where his back is injured and he keeps coming back and keeps coming back. And I believe that was because he was a teammate of MJ's, where maybe before, younger in his career, he might have said, I'm sitting out the rest of the game. I just can't do it. He was like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And they're still friends. So you love that.
The Last Dance, everybody, on ESPN On Demand. I'm at 7, I think episode 8. I can't wait. Dawn, thank you so much, sweetie. I so appreciate this.
Oh, anytime. You know I love it, and I love you.
I love you. Dawn Mitchell, everybody. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this. And welcome back to the Jason Show Home Edition. You know that guy right there joining us from his beautiful home. It's appropriate because this is the at-home edition, is the gadget guy. There he is, Mr. Steve Greenberg. Hi, buddy.
Hey, Jason. So good to be here. And so great to have you in my home. I've always wanted you to come over. Now you are.
I know. Beautiful place. And I see some wine back there. Let's drink that once the segment's over, Steve, okay?
Absolutely. I'm all for that. Thank you. Yeah. So the big issue is you've got your family home. Summer camps are down and whatnot. What are you going to do for some family fun? And I've got some gadget stuff. Hopefully help you out.
Okay, what do we have? I see, is that Cher next to you? I see dolls, a lot of dolls.
A lot of dolls, not Cher, but close to it. These are all very diverse characters, and what's cool about them is they come in this set. You buy one of them, and they come with these little scooters. These are robotic, self-balancing scooters, almost like Segways, and then you can program all sorts of things. So this is all about coding. It's science, technology, engineering, math for grades for age 6 and up, and I've programmed that one over there. Now, she's been misbehaving, but let's see if she'll do what I told her to. Okay, we're going to take it away, Zara. Come on. We'll see if she can do this. There she goes. Yes.
There she goes.
There she is. Yay, Zara. Thank you very much. Turn around one more time for us. Yes. She's done it. That's Zara.
Safety first, Steve. Safety first. She's not wearing a helmet, though, Steve. She's not wearing a helmet.
She's got great hair, though, and I like her little bag, by the way. The little features, and they're a very diverse group. Now, this is not only a cool toy, but this company also offers a 2-week summer camp. It's a Zoom summer camp, so there are counselors, programmers who will help your kids learn coding. With this, you have the doll and the smart buddy to play with and the scooter, but then you can really learn the extreme of it. Like I learned a very little bit, but a 2-week camp, your kids will really learn a lot, and it's something for them to do every day for 2 weeks. Check it out from Smart Buddies. I think it's a pretty cool idea.
And yeah, and it is. And you're right, Steve. The parents, God bless them. Any relief. I mean, because they're like activity director and parent and teacher. So I love these.
And so many summer camps are down. So here's Camp in a Box. It's just a great solution, I think. Now over here, this is another activity idea. This is called, Jason, check it out. This is called an adventure challenge. And what it does is you have 50 challenges that you scratch off the challenge. Once you read it, you're committed to do the challenge. You can get it with or without the instant camera. When you finish the challenge, you snap a picture of it, and then they all go into the book so that you have these keepsake memories in here. You can write some comments down. So when it's all over, you can remember what I did during the pandemic. So they have a family edition, a couples edition, and a friends edition. So it really does make a great keepsake right now.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Great idea. Really simple. And you can get it with or without the instant camera. So that's just, you can use your own camera as well. Next, you've got all those lakes out there. There's also rivers and backyard pools and whatnot. What can you do with them? This is terrific right over here. This is called pool candy, and this is their tube runner, and it's a tube with a built-in motor at the bottom of it. So this is my kind of tube. I don't know if you can see it.
No way. That's a motor, Steve?
A motor, exactly. So you can tool around. You can do bumper or you can do races. It's great. By the way, it has a cup dispenser in it. To fill it up, you need a hair dryer. I don't own a hair blower, but I was able to borrow one to fill it up. But I know a lot of folks at home do have it. It's really great. And then once you have it, you just can like meander. I took it out into Biscayne Bay and I tooled around for a little bit. Totally enjoyed it. A lot of fun. Pool Candy is a company. This one is specifically called the Tube Runner. And then
Steve, do you know the price point on that one?
Yeah, I think it's about, hold me to it, I think about $150, something like that.
And it's for adults. Like I could fit in that, right, Steve? I could do that with the vodka soda.
Absolutely. That goes right in here. Exactly. This is perfect. And I fit fine. They also make a lounge version. It costs a little bit more and you can lay out and get, a little bit more sun. I think this one's a lot of fun. That one has 2 motors, so you can kind of control both hands. Very cool.
I love it.
Then over here, this one caught my eye because it's just such a weird coincidence. This game just came out in January. It's called Virus. They didn't know about the pandemic. They released this game. It's all about, it's a card game. It's actually a lot of fun. It's all about dealing with a virus. And in fact, look at one of their viruses. It actually looks a little bit like our virus. I hate to call it our virus, but the current virus. And it comes with medications, organs to protect. It's really great. Some of the proceeds have gone to the World Health Organization. And it's just really great to kind of embrace the moment. I mean, this is what we're all dealing with. So here's a way of kind of making it a little fun, maybe a little less scary for kids as well. Virus. So something else to consider.
I love it. We have about a minute left. Do you have anything else, or can we go outside and go to the pool? Oh, wait, no, we can't go to the pool, Steve.
I can take you outside. The lighting's going to get a little weird, but let's see if I can.
It's fine.
We can show folks. This is what it's like in Florida today.
Look at that.
Not bad, huh? So,
not bad.
If people want more information on anything I talked about, they can always go to my blog at stevegreenberg.tv. Check me out at Instagram, Steve Greenberg. And my old show, Invention Hunters, is on the Food Network app, the Go app. If you go there, you can binge watch season 1 of Invention Hunters. So something else to do.
And then Gadget Nation too, Steve, wherever books are sold, right, my friend?
Absolutely. Gadget Nation, gadgetnation.net, and all the information's on stevegreenberg.tv.
There he is. Steve Greenberg, everyone, live from his horrible, horrible living conditions there. Look at that. I feel so horrible. I feel so bad for you, Steve.
We're
going to take that's right. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Bye, Dave.
So what's it going to look like at your favorite store 2 weeks from now, a month from now, a year from now? I couldn't think of anyone better to talk about this than our good friend. She is the editor-in-chief of Twin Cities Business. Please welcome Allison Kaplan. Hello, Allie.
Well, hello, Jason. How are you?
Thanks. I'm doing well. I always like to ask our dear friends, and you are among them. How are you and your family doing during this nutter butter time?
It is nutter butter, that is for sure. We're doing great. Thank you for asking. Really can't complain and trying to focus on the positives.
Absolutely. Believe me, I'm just like, okay, I'm lucky and we now do a whole segment of positivity. But I so respect your insight because for people that don't know, before Allie was a very big wig, Miss Editor-in-Chief, she was kind of the shopping Yoda of our area at MSP Mag. So let me. You broke this conversation down as we look forward of retail. You say rethinking experience.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about what had been happening in retail leading up to this pandemic. The stores that were thriving were going big, we don't need to go to a store anymore just to purchase a pair of pants, right? We can all do that online. We had that ability. So stores were already thinking about like, how do they engage? Think about Lululemon, which had been building these super stores that had a cafe and a juice bar and a meditation room, all kinds of things that aren't even about, retail space. They're about bringing people in and keeping them there. Well, now what? Now they don't know when people are going to return to that big giant space that they put together, in Chicago and at the Mall of America. So you have to think about how do you deliver those unique branded experiences, perhaps virtually or in other ways.
Because I was thinking, I'm so glad you mentioned MOA. You saw like the Verizon store, which, thinking that a phone store could be an experience store. That Verizon store is bigger than some than some mini Targets, for heaven's sake.
Right. Experience has been the buzzword, but it's been in a physical sense. It's been, turning stores into playgrounds and lots of things to touch and feel. And now we've done a complete 180. So we have to think about how do you create virtual experiences? Maybe it's a virtual styling session. Maybe it's a show that, an unboxing of new merchandise that becomes an event on social media. It's a total rethinking of experience.
So we're talking the future of retail. Okay, Allison, stores as showrooms. What do you mean by that?
So this had already been happening a little bit, especially with digital first brands, like take a Warby Parker, where yes, you want to go in and try on the glasses, but ultimately that's an online experience. You're going to buy those on an iPad, whether you're in a store or doing it from home. More retailers, especially the local ones, are going to have to think about that physical space as being the place where they fill orders, where they showcase merchandise, maybe to show it virtually online, less about getting people in the door and more about using it almost as a branding tool.
Warby Parker is a really good example because I'm a walking an iBobs too. I went in there. I wanted to touch the product. I wanted to see how it looked on my giant melon head, but I left the store and you're right. I bought it online.
Right. So that's a perfect example of it's a showroom. I mean, they're not keeping lots of inventory in that space. It's so you can experience it and then you go home and place the order. Bonobos, a lot of digital first brands have been doing this. I think now all retailers are going to have to reconsider how they use the physical space.
This next topic seems pretty obvious, but when we're looking forward to what retail will look like, a refocus or an energized focus on service. What specifically do you mean?
Well, I think this is where small retailers that have been so badly hurt by this pandemic can really thrive. I had an experience where I called up a local toy store, Kitty Wampus, needed something in a hurry. They texted me. They walked through the store and texted me a tour. They had like 10 ideas for me based on the age. They then packaged it up, gift wrapped it, and delivered it to my house in an hour. Talk about service. Like I couldn't be more engaged or connected with that retailer without ever setting foot. I think service just is going to really distinguish and differentiate.
Allison, I don't know if you read this, but I'm so glad that you said this because I've seen examples again myself, but I think it was in the Strib or I don't know where, but Rosenthal, Furniture in downtown Minneapolis, talked about how they have seen just such a great reaction because she goes, now the focus on the positive is she is more connected with her clients than she's ever been. It's just not transactional. She's spending the time with these people and more than she ever had.
I think it's twofold. I think people are craving those touch points and interactions.
Yes.
I think a lot of small retailers weren't so well equipped to do e-commerce. And so they had to kind of do it on a really grassroots level, which in some cases means taking phone orders, walking around the store with your, FaceTime camera to show people what you have. But it makes it actually feel more human. Making deliveries on bicycle. I mean, there are just lots of ways that stores can make it personal, even if people aren't in the building.
Allie, you said not just retail, but fashion. The fashion industry is going to change. The end of fashion seasons. What do you mean by that?
Well, so we've seen there are so many cycles of, the menswear shows, the European shows, and for years and years and years, without question, fashion editors from around the world would travel and go and sit at these shows, and the design. It was just this process that when suddenly it couldn't happen, everybody started saying, do we really need to do this? Do we really need to do these large-scale fashion shows? Why are we designing a year and a half ahead? I just think that everything, because it had to, it was disrupted, and now it's going to be just a complete rethinking about how fashion is made, probably making less of it, and delivering collections closer to the season. There's a lot of talk about, right now you think about how early things come. It's like Christmas in July at retail stores.
Yeah.
More merchandise at the right time. So you're buying summer clothes in season, and that would be a real shift for fashion.
In entertainment parallel, I just read as far as, industries changing forever, TV networks are saying, I believe ABC said they're getting rid of what they call upfronts, where they, give a whole bunch of advertisers some cold cuts and a pina colada, spend millions of dollars on a day to show them previews of a show that they may or may not buy advertising for. They said, why are we doing this? We can just send them a screener on an iPad.
Right. Right. And I mean, look, I think we all want to think that we will be in spaces together. And there's nothing that compares to the energy of being at a fashion show and the creativity and that being together. But I just think it's a good opportunity to say, how could we do this a little more efficiently?
You said there are some new normals that we have right now in retail that are just going to stay. We're not, once we get past this, what are some of those items, procedures that you see staying?
I think one of the biggest surprises, and this goes for malls, for big box, and for boutiques, is curbside pickup. Everybody loves the curbside pickup. I think it gives us that instant gratification of wanting to order something and getting it right away. It's super convenient, whether it's because you have kids in the back of the car or you're not comfortable going in. Lots of retailers saying they will continue to offer that service going forward. And I just think the focus on e-commerce. So many stores have had to literally create an e-commerce platform overnight. That's not going away. I think we have all gotten much more comfortable shopping online, and that will continue.
In our last 30 seconds, I know they're just early numbers. It's like looking at a political poll in April for a November election. But early numbers out of, let's take Rosedale Center, for example. They opened up. They had 200 and some people waiting at the door. Do you see malls actually succeeding because people are wanting these communal experiences, or do you see them suffering because they are large venues?
I think there's no question that there is going to be suffering and that the fallout is really just beginning. I think, the stores that were teetering on the edge before, they're not going to make it. I think it's going to be a long way until we get back to where we were, if we do. But there's no question that people crave humanity and experiences and want to get out, and malls can deliver something unique that you can't do at home. And we crave that.
And if you're craving the latest on Twin Cities Business, there's nobody that does it better than Twin Cities Business. And it's all because of her and her team right there. Allison Kaplan, thank you for your perspective on this. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Great talking to you, Jason.
Great talking to you, too. We're going to take a break, everyone. Stay right there, get another cup of coffee, and meet me back here in 2 minutes. Back in a moment. Welcome back. Before we go, just another little note. I just want to say, because we're seeing a lot of videos nowadays of people kind of being combative with store employees, Target employees, Costco employees. And I just want to ask everyone to just be kind and patient with these individuals. They're just doing their job. I know a lot of you watching, not only do you have to worry now about delivering great customer service, but you have to now worry and deal with possible yahoos like me yelling at you for policies that are out of your control. I get that this is a really, really scary and horrible time for a lot of folks, but please give these folks some grace and some kindness. They're employees that are just following the rules of their organizations. It just really makes me sad to see these people that are afraid to go to work now because they're afraid the public is going to get in their face and yell at them, or even worse. So as you go about your week and you have to go to a grocery store, you got to go to the Costco, just give these folks a break. They're just doing their job, and they don't need us sticking cameras in their face, yelling expletives. They have families too. They have people that love them. They need that paycheck, and they're just doing their job. So just a little reminder. That is going to do it for us today. On that vein, please be smart, safe, and healthy. And if you are watching our show and you are a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Thank you for watching. We have all new shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and best ofs on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.